We're the Black Swans. I'm Tamika.
Alicia.
Miriam.
Today we're going to be talking about the movie Us. This was a horror film by Jordan Peele that came out last week. So what did you think about it, Alicia?
Okay, when the trailer came out, I was way too scared from the trailer to watch it. And then when I was watching it, when it first started, I thought, okay, this is not really that scary. Especially in the beginning with the bunnies. There was like 5 minutes of bunnies. Yeah, I'm like, I can't with these bunnies for 5 minutes straight. This is annoying. And then it was just, after that, we were just kind of like trying to figure out what was going on. So I think it was more like suspenseful than scary. Yeah.
I definitely busted out laughing at a lot of the scenes, so I was kind of confused as like, is this supposed to be a horror film or what? Because this is like a joke. I only got really scary when the doppelgangers of that other family got killed.
Family.
Yeah, the family that the main family was competing with, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
that's when I started to get like, whoa, what the heck?
what is going on with this movie?
Yeah, the white family's clones coming in and killing them.
They murked them so fast.
That was unexpected.
But that, to me, other than like the obvious part of like the little girl switched her in the beginning, I mean, that's pretty clear. There was other stuff in there that you had to really, it's a more than one time watch, because there's a lot of stuff in there that you will not notice the first time. You're not going to understand the first time. And then I think the funniest part is when Adelaide, the real Adelaide, came in and started talking, which, you know, we have somebody that's going to be able to give her view on that. But it's like, when she came in, it was like, what is going on in here? And then everything was just, I don't know, that movie was creepy.
So Gabe, the real dad, he was throwing me out of the film because his reaction to the family coming, the clone family coming,
weak.
It was so pathetic. I didn't understand why.
Hey, you want to get crazy? You want to get crazy? Because we can get crazy.
But he didn't do
I
nothing.
did not understand
He did
why
nothing for that family.
he was not reacting to these.
Nah, but none of them,
out.
all of them had some real, lame reactions. They were just acting all
like
punk.
why if clones of me are coming in with scissors to stab me or whatever.
I'm not about to.
I'm not
I'm not tethering
gonna
my.
sit down
I
and
ain't
listen to
handcuffing
them.
myself to no table. Like,
yeah, like I'm not listening to them.
they had zero fight in them
Yeah,
whatsoever.
like we
It was
are fighting to
embarrassing.
the death. I'm not listening to no story.
Nah.
I'm not running. I am fighting them to the death. So I didn't. To me, the family that we were seeing didn't feel like a real black family.
How is someone gonna come up in your house trying to kill you with just scissors, and then you just gonna sit on the couch and listen to them?
Yeah.
That just.
And
And that's the really interesting, great part about Jordan Peele's writing, is that if you really think deeply about it, the twist is pretty clear. And I mean, I'm going to leave it up to the listeners or viewers' interpretation, but I think it's pretty clear that family that we see from the very beginning is all of them are the tethered versions of the ones that we saw come in with the red
only one we
jumpsuits.
had proof was Adelaide.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot more evidence that Jason is not the real version.
Which he's the little boy, yeah.
There's not as much evidence that Gabe and Zora are switched.
But I'm pretty
there's
sure.
something weird about them too.
But I know
like that's not how black families act.
Well, look, when the mom came out the car and went up to the little girl, it was almost as if they were hugging to say goodbye to each other, because they were like, she loved her like it was her real daughter. To me, that was kind of clear. Like, that's not. She said goodbye to her real children. When the little boy went in the car, she was like, no. When the fire, no. And then when she went out there to go say goodbye, come on now, those two were her children. And then Gabe the fraud. I mean, that's pretty clear that was a tethered version of
the only thing
himself.
is that he wasn't acting like a tethered. But he was not acting. Something was wrong with him. He took me out the film. Gabe took me out the film.
That whole eerie feeling.
Took me out the film.
Alicia, the whole eerie feeling of that family that we saw in the beginning in the car going to that beach house or wherever they were going was because that was not a real family. That all four of them were the tethered versions of the ones we saw come in the red jumpsuit. That's my theory. All four of them.
That the crazy looking red jumpsuit versions look more like
that was the real family.
Real black family.
That was the real family.
And that one looked like a fake black family.
Okay, Miriam, what do you think?
I felt like the movie could have been over really quickly. Once they started coming in the house, she could have just explained to them like, once upon a time, I was taken when I was a happened like initially 20 years ago. I'm like, we're actually all clones of you guys. Please help us on the surface. Like, it could have just been really simple. They could have explained the situation. They didn't have to kill nobody. They could have just been like, we're your clones, and basically like, how can you help us or whatever. It could have been a lot simple, but you know, there was a lot of symbolism and you know,
The
there was a point
clones
to
were
the movie.
like lunatics, though. There was not going to be any talking to the real version.
They could have been rehabilitated. I mean, I feel like they could have been. I feel like they could have been rehabilitated if they gave, you know, if they had a chance. But they were a little too crazy, and clearly just they had, you know, one track mind of murdering them. So
that was the plan.
That's what made it clear that the ones, that family, what was their last name?
Wilson.
That's what made it clear that the Wilsons that we saw on the surface were the tethered versions.
I mean,
And
that's a
then
theory to me.
that's-
You're like they're tethered. Like, okay.
I challenge me. I bet you if I had a conversation with Jordan Peele, he'd be like, "You're right. I don't care.
Okay.
Me and Jordan
But
Peele could talk."
Red, the one that was pretending to be Adelaide.
That was confirmed, and Jason
And then
was
Jason
pretty
was
clear.
Reno, so he wasn't.
But the little girl and the guy were tethered
that
too.
one is harder to prove.
I want to talk to Jordan Peele.
All right, so
All right.
go see us and figure it out for yourselves. But
Definitely a 2-time watch.
well, then again, we just talked about all the things that happened. So people that did not see it, don't watch this.
We just
It's a
spoiled
really
it.
good movie. You should go and see it.
We're the Black Swans. Peace out.